just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Back in My Day. And we were just having a riveting discussion off air. Like, I reckon we might have solved geopolitics for once and all. I reckon we literally solved the world's problems. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, we got pretty deep there. Did we solve it? That's a question. I don't know. I don't think so.
I'll tell you what might bring world peace is that shirt. What is going on there, mate?
Yeah, there's our Magic Round jersey. This year, we thought it was just too good an opportunity for the Matty Johns Cup to beat Magic Round this year. So we thought, let's get off our asses and do a little jersey. And
for the listeners, the Matty Johns Cup is...
Knights versus Titans.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, we're pumped. It'll be a bit of fun up there, be a good weekend. And then there's also some other stuff we're going to talk about a bit later about the Gold Coast jersey coming out.
Yes,
so
absolutely. I tell you what, limited edition too. Very limited numbers.
Yeah, very limited numbers.
Are they out now?
These Reggie ones. No, they come out Wednesday the 15th on 6 p.m. So try and get in early because there's only a limited amount of them.
Have you released... So this is the first ever jersey you've released too?
Yeah, we've never released a jersey.
You want to get the OG. You want to be a part of the crew that's the OG. Because like when we had our initial jerseys, well, the black ones, if you've got a black bloke in a bar jersey, you are truly an OG. That's like...
What year was that?
Like 2016, 17?
Oh, pre-COVID.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right,
ages ago. And it was like a long sleeve. You know what? I'll go get it too.
Bring it back.
Wow.
Three-quarter sleever. Adam and Eva.
Genuine cotton. Genuine ostrich.
Egyptian cotton.
Egyptian cotton. So many threads.
Got the OG logo too.
Yeah, OG logo and everything. Yeah, you would. Yeah, the Dawn knows about the OG logo.
I like
This is a three-quarter sleeve.
That is OG. Wow.
Yep, and it's got the old logo. So the old bloke in a bar logo used to be that.
That's hectic.
Used to be that there.
Yeah.
Got the locker room logo too.
Do you see him getting around, Campy?
Nah, there was only like, we might have made like 50 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, right.
50, 60. And in saying that, if you came to the bar, sometimes we just gave them out. So people that came to the bar might have got them, but this is the OOG one. So if you got this, fuck, you're a real one.
Yeah, if anyone's listening and has it,
yeah, let us know.
Throw a picture up.
Let us know. Absolutely.
Thank the boys.
There you go.
The old collars, eh? Bring them back.
Yeah, they're cool.
Listen, let's talk about
Jerseys
that.
are back.
Let's talk about jersey collars because people keep saying, they don't do collars because you could get grabbed by them. I don't feel like that's a thing anymore. It's too tight.
Everyone's got long hair now.
Yeah, if you
grab the hair.
Boy, Hudson Young, he loves grabbing hair, the big fella. Through Tommy Young, you see that? Tommy Young getting absolute result by the back of the hair.
It's very ballsy from Hudson. Dom saw red for sure.
Oh, mate.
I'll tell you right now, of all the options that you've got, if you specifically find a way to grab that tight collar...
Good on you.
Yeah, exactly. Good on you. But no, it's not the same. The old jerseys had the collar out on the side delts.
It's like
on
a big
shoulders.
lapel or something.
Right, exactly. It's like you had 4 buttons under.
Yeah, true.
You'd like that, though, wouldn't you?
Kempy back in
you'd like
Kempy 07.
Sandor would have a jersey with the buttons down there.
Yeah, 3-button rule.
See here? Like, that's me. That's normal people. Sandor, if he had a mate, I reckon go down there.
Yeah, I was 3-button rule. 3 buttons under.
Yeah, okay. Waxed up or
Just
what?
give you a little bit, but not enough.
Keep them wanting more. Mysterious. So we all like. I want to go as far as I would like collars all year round.
I want 100%.
Oh, yeah,
I want
sure.
the whole comp to have to change it to retro jersey.
They just
that'd be
look
mad.
sick. Well, speaking of retro, let's just get straight into it. Oh, actually, before that, guys, MberX. This is the Back in My Day is proudly brought to you by MberX. Sign up to MberX to tip against myself and the boys. The comp code is Bloke Tipping, all one word. Bloke is uppercase. There's also exclusive bloke content on the app you can't see anywhere else. Plus, if you tip each week, this is the place to be. You can join for free or go to premium. It's only $20 a month, and you're in the draw each week for hundreds. Oh, actually, they're giving away about $2 million worth of prizes over the whole year, and tens of thousands of dollars each week. It's super fun, guys. Makes footy so enjoyable to watch because you can win something at the end of the week.
I went 5 from 8.
Mate, I went terrible. I am having a bad year. I'm getting
round,
second year
whatever.
syndrome. I won my comp last year.
Oh, that's interesting. I
And-
don't remember you saying that the week before.
Yeah, listen, it's happening again.
There's a little bit of arrogance the week before, actually.
Well, listen. Sometimes you've got to convince yourself that you're back, and I'm not back. How'd you go last week, Reni?
Perfect round, mate. Whatever. Shut up.
Oh,
Perfect round. Yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you should send it into the
That's a
group.
message in the group
The
chat.
one that wants 3.
I thought that was AI.
No, it's legit, mate. Legit.
So what? You won 3 beers.
3 beers.
Free-
To be fair, it was a good round for a perfect round.
Oh.
To be fair.
There
There was some on the fence. I'd pick Dragons, Warriors, Raiders. They were my losses.
Did you find the blueprint? Was that where the beers
Blueprint, I found it.
were? Was that the coaster for the beers? The
It
blueprint?
was. Someone actually used ink in the blueprint.
Wow.
So
Wasn't
what beers
invisible.
are you crashing?
So you back the
Bloke.
Rabbits too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
against my dogs. I did.
Did you go against the Dogs?
I did.
That
Yes.
see that almost. I'm docking your point for that.
Oh,
You can't go against your
why?
team. You're
Hang
Reni
on, I've
04,
got-
baby.
I've got a few teams.
Oh wow, Doggies fans, you hear that?
Yeah, but you're a local boy, right?
South Junior.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
right.
shit.
He's not on MberX to just take part.
Wow. Oh, look,
Parramatta.
I thought you were a loyal guy, but clearly
Parramatta
not.
legend.
Well,
got
were
him a
there-
wooden spoon.
Were you there, the Ricky Stewart moment?
Yes, the 12. I was on the whiteboard.
Okay,
Oh,
walk us.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Walk us through. You said legend. Walk the listeners through the infamous
Yeah,
Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, 2013
Yeah,
it was.
yep.
And so we played Titans in Mudgee, and we did a captain's run at altitude, and it went for 90 minutes, full contact. Full contact.
Captain's run.
Captain's run.
That is bizarre.
Sticky was in a mood. And
Right, he was.
so we play the Titans the next day. We get beat by 50. Anyway, we're in, doing recovery in Mudgee, and the boys go, "You got to go speak to Stick." I said, "Hainsey, Timmy Manor, you're the co-captain. You go speak to him." And they're like, "Ren, you got to go speak to him." So I go and speak to him. Let's just say it didn't go down well.
So you went and spoke to Ricky Stewart
Said,
about, like, mate, this is too
"Mate,
much.
Captain's run, mate. Come on, full contact."
Instead of the captains, they didn't go.
Captain, oh yeah, they shit themselves basically.
What?
So then he calls me in the next day. He goes, "Look, I'm going to give you the respect you deserve. I'm sacking 12 of you, and you're one of them." I said, "All right, thanks, Dick. We're going to have a meeting." So no one knows. He goes, "Don't say anything." He rolls out this whiteboard, 12 names. None of you are required for next year. So that was mid
What round was that?
2013, I believe, somewhere around there, mid-year. And then he left and went to Canberra at the end of the year. So, yeah, that's the infamous whiteboard story. So,
Oh my
How
god.
does that work? So, like, if you were on the list and you were contracted beyond that year, was it you get ready to play?
yeah,
reserve
so
grade?
I was contracted for another year. He said, "You're not wanted." I said, "I'll leave as long as I get every cent."
So did he take the bullet? As in, like, he was leaving and he just, oh, yeah, I'll get rid of him.
No, at that
he-
time he was staying.
He was staying. Oh. He had a long-term plan.
He's ruthless, eh?
And then signed with Canberra.
I do think, in Ricky Stewart's defence, I guess, I do think he had some personal family stuff that needed to be in Canberra or something. Matty, do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think
With
it's
his daughter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
That changed things.
I think it's the level of care or
Yeah.
something specific down
Yep.
there in Canberra, the
Yep.
facility.
But
Yeah.
it's still funny.
Ruthless.
It's the forward.
What
What
a way
about
to-
you
that's a
saying
mic
Lawson?
drop. That's a mic drop
You should have
moment.
leaked it, bruh. He's already getting rid of you.
He leaked it that afternoon. The media found out about it the next day.
No. You should have leaked it to the boys because he's already bust you.
No, I didn't have time.
Did Brad Arthur take straight over after that?
BA did come back, yeah.
Yeah. Was he an
2000.
assistant?
He was an assistant with, when I first signed there, it was him and Mook, Steve Kearney.
Oh, yep.
And then
Oh, Mooks took over at one point, didn't
Mook's
he?
got
Yeah.
the sack
Oh, yeah.
with BA, and then Sticky came in,
Yeah.
and then Sticky left.
Wow. Man,
Yeah.
that is ruthless
So
stuff.
that's a perfect example of like a coach that's under pressure. It's like either they get amputated or they try and get rid of a roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it happens.
Wow. Alrighty, well that was all brought to you by MberX, the best tipping, best tipping app in all the land, guys. Join up. And I went 3 from 8. Oh no, actually, sorry, I went 4 from 8 last week. So
Yeah,
terrible.
same here, can be.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Sitting on the fence.
Look, I think I'm willing to say there's been so many upsets this year. If you're going well in tipping this year, you actually don't know rugby league. That's
I believe the quote was that if you have gone well in the tipping in the early rounds, you are uneducated.
yes.
that's-
Uneducated.
Right.
Yeah.
Was
You're a
that a-
casual.
was
You're a
that a
casual.
jab?
As it continues on and the performance continues to be worse.
Yeah, but
what
it's so
does-
up and down. There's no consistency in the way teams are playing. I
How
mean,
did you-
Cowboys are fucking going to win a premiership now.
Rennie went 8 from 8.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm about
Is that
to
a
say.
fluke?
Is that
Are
a
we saying
jab?
it's a fluke?
It's absolutely
Is
a
that a
jab.
jab, Rennie?
Hang
Wow.
on, let's
It's a
go
massive
man.
jab. He
Anyone
has a
go
fucking
man?
blueprint.
He's a
round one.
professional rugby league
That's
analyst.
right.
Yeah.
He's written blueprints
He's
about
a, he's a rugby
serious?
league analyst.
Are you kidding?
Anyone go Manly? You all went
Oh,
Manly.
yeah, I
went Manly.
We
Yeah.
chopped it up.
You got to
We couldn't
go
not.
when an interim coach comes in. They always
No, well,
win.
the statistics which you'll enjoy, that's proven that's a myth.
Is it a myth?
It's a huge myth.
He's done his research.
Okay.
But we were just so on the Foz train, we couldn't go against
Yeah.
it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We were, weren't we?
We were all
I
inspired.
tell
We
you,
were
I'll give you
inspired.
one thing. You called. I didn't think 13 plus, and you called.
Yeah, you called that game very good,
That
actually.
was a strong call
You
too.
know what's fucked is like, so we've got Face of Music on Monday, and I didn't go 13 plus, and it was paying like
No.
shit. Yeah, but
Thought
listen,
you were going to go straight on the
No.
sports bet feed.
I did bet it, but the problem was the week before on Face of Music, I got I went 0, the nudie run.
So you went safe.
So I was going safe.
duckhead.
I went safe. So I'm rattled. I rattled my confidence. I should have been like I should have been the James Maloney of tipping, where I just fucking tip shit, but just go hard the next week. You know?
Yeah.
Do you put them in earlier in the week or?
Yeah, the Face of Music one we have to do it like on Monday. Which
Yeah,
is
that's
tough.
hard.
Yeah,
That's
it's
hard.
tough.
A full
wait
week
for
of changes.
Yeah.
Team list Tuesday.
Yeah,
At least.
Absolutely.
TLT. Alrighty, boys. Big news. The hot pirate, Connor Watson, is
C-dub.
granted permission to negotiate with rivals. Didn't this come out of nowhere? I did not expect this at all. So New South Wales Star is officially on the market after being granted permission from the Roosters to speak with rivals, while the Roosters have no intention of forcing Watson out of 2027. Okay. Usually means when they say, listen, you've got permission to leave.
Usually means the opposite.
Yeah, like you don't go, listen, we're just telling you, if you want to go somewhere else, you can, but we don't want you to go anywhere. Like, you can stay, but if you want to, like, you know when you're at like a party or something, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll stay if you want.
Here's a permission slip.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
After the recent debacle with the whole suspension stories, I feel like someone is in the administration who's just a master storyteller or content creator. Just pumping out these narratives.
Now, Manly, look, I'm going to be honest, seeing the hot pirate in a Manly jersey gets me going under Foz as a utility, because he'd be perfect for what they need in regards to a utility.
Yeah.
I don't even think they've got a utility at the club.
Yeah, he'd be. I like him at Manly because I love him to join our coaching staff. But
Yeah, hot boy coaching staff, just all the boys.
yeah, Brad Parker, Connor Watson. That's hot boys.
I'm seeing a calendar.
Yeah, but I
Bring
do
back the
think.
calendar.
Jersey Fleet coach calendar.
Oh, can you imagine? That'd be that. Yeah, the early retirement calendar they call it. I do think PNG though are going to be in the real hot seat because I know being at Newcastle with Willie and Connor, they've got a very good relationship. Very spiritually similar.
Okay, spiritually
spiritually
aligned.
similar.
Spiritually.
Okay.
I
like
like that.
it.
Their
I
chakras
like
are
it.
aligned.
I'm a
Holistic.
Chiefs man. I want him to go to the Chiefs. I'm getting behind PNG Chiefs.
I tell you what, the merch from the Chiefs is going to be hectic.
I'm going
And Connor's
tax
probably-
free.
Yeah, 100%. Like the Connor's in the sort of the hot spot too, like of his career where it's actually I think Connor's just turned 30 or about to hit 30.
He's 29. So
Yeah,
about
so
to-
he's sort of in a hot spot where if they do want that, like, let's be honest, if you're going to be a utility somewhere or a hooker, and you're at that time of your life, you want to make some money, this
Yep.
is a great way to do it. And he's a pretty driven dude that you're like, he's going to give his best every week. Like, that's non-negotiable.
That Peters relationship, though, I think is probably underrated for a decision.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
why does he know Peters as that well?
He was at
Newcastle.
Newcastle as an assistant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
2
that
years
makes
under
sense.
Willie, I believe.
Yep. Shout out to his content. He's got him and his brother have a content, I guess,
Yeah,
production
Wildfire?
company. Wildfire content.
Who?
Fletcher Watson and Connor.
Connor.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Fletcher's
create
a-
mad content.
Love
He's
that.
into the cinema world. He's a young actor. He's very good too. Looks like a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh wow,
Shall I
big
say
call,
that?
big
Wow.
call.
Yeah,
But they also
yeah,
they also shoot stuff for brands and everything. If you actually they've got a YouTube channel. They did stuff with KP.
Yep.
That's Kalen Ponga for people playing at home. They did some AFL guys as well.
Yeah.
Really, really well shot stuff. So shout out to
Sick.
Wildfire Connor. Look, I don't mind him at in regards to like leadership and what they would need, like PNG Chiefs, even like a starting 13 role. I don't mind Connor Watson there. Really marketable. Right time as well. I will say, all jokes aside with the Roosters, and maybe I'm being naive here, maybe there is a part of them that is saying, listen, we like you've been a good servant to us. Here's an opportunity if you get a big wicket. We're probably, we might re-sign you, but it's not going to be on a big wicket because he wouldn't be on a big contract right now. I'd doubt it.
I think he might have re-signed either just before he played Origin.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine if it was after Origin, then he probably got a bit more.
Nah.
I'd say he got a bit more cash.
Yeah, and I think they know he's within his right at that age when that comes about to get that last
Yep.
big final contract, and it's well deserved.
Yeah.
But
Like-
the fact that it's 27, that might actually leave PNG in the cold. So Perth, obviously, they're still looking for signings.
But you could go you could set him up, go, listen, sign a 1 year deal with Manly and then get the big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
could set
possible,
it up
yeah.
so they can kind of begin that journey, I guess. But you're right, like maybe, Perth is also another option.
Like Perth need it's a weird one because Perth what, they're going to start pre-season in
Mate.
6 months' time.
Mate.
You're like, it's maybe time to start reeling in the big
Well, they
fish.
should be already doing camps in that for.
But I
the
felt
juniors.
like that about the Dolphins. I was looking at the Dolphins.
they've got
first team
100
on
years of
paper.
history.
Yeah, I know, and it is different because they also have the foundations and the pathways. But I remember looking at the Dolphins team at the start, going,
Which means, look, they still haven't made the 8. Imagine what a Perth side is. And I say this respectfully, but how long since the big fella Meninga has even coached in the NRL?
It's scary.
One.
and they have a very basic kind of rugby league competition at the moment in Perth.
Mate, it's barely anything. They've got no juniors, essentially. The people they've recruited are solid, but they've got no superstars just yet. I've said for a while I'm a bit concerned about Perth.
I've got a funny one for you, actually. My best mate has just moved to Perth in the last year with his girlfriend, and they've just bought a place in Scarborough. And he's working in residential property at the moment, and he's actually doing heaps of the properties for all the players and staff. And he reckons he had Big Mal in there last week. I said, "How'd you go?" He goes, "Mate, he offered me a back row position." So that's
okay, well, there you go.
So Liam, the Lebanese prince. So hopefully we'll see a new edge back rower there for the Perth Bears.
Mate, it's going to be. What's hard for Perth as well is like PNG's tax-free money. It just sucks the life out of it.
And they've also taken away all of the attention and focus at the moment.
Oh, and on top of all that, like, what's a flight to PNG? 4 hours, 5 hours? It's about the
about
same.
4 hours. Perth's a long way.
Perth's
away.
5 hours.
With the time difference, it's hard as well. When you travel back and
Yep.
forth with Perth, it's bloody hard.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have to be so generous to Perth in regards to, like, their home and away games and maybe blocking them or something like that. Like, putting it so, which sucks because it might actually work against them. Like, if you block, like, 3 or 4 away games and say, okay, we'll just stay in.
Couple of hours to Bali though.
That is true. You know
Yeah,
that.
fair point.
Couple
Fair
of
point.
Bali.
But that'll be the early games. So over in New Zealand, they have the late games here, and over there for Eastern Standard Time in Australia. So the Perth games, players will have to get used to playing a bit earlier than usual. You don't do that till you're
Yeah.
sort
Friday,
of in the
I'm
juniors.
going to Bali Saturday, Sunday.
Straight-
Brett. I know you would do it
straight on
too.
the fly. I've done it on
100%.
Virus.
What, from Perth?
100%.
Well, how quick is it?
Couple hours?
It's 3 hours, I think. 2.5, 3 hours.
Really?
I'm going there that night, weekend in Bali.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Maybe we could start a Bali side. Tax free.
What if we did like we started like Beach Kentucky, where we do like a full round trip from Perth to Bali to New Zealand back to Sydney.
Mate, that'd be fucking hectic.
I remember I played a
That'd be
rugby nines tournament in Thailand when I was living there.
Oh, no way. Did you
Is
carve?
that At Geelong? Not Geelong.
Near there. Yeah,
What's that stadium? I've been there.
Forget the Tanyapura.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mate, you would have been a giant compared to some of the players over
Oh,
there.
like they had teams would come from all over Australia and New Zealand, everywhere. But yeah, it was good fun. But man, I've never had such a big night right in the middle of the competition. Then had back up the next day. I was a busted ass.
Ugh.
Day one, killer. Day two, hanging on for dear life.
Now, in regards to, I guess, damage is a strong word, but like he's so crucial to the Roosters when they're playing well. Are they going Hugo Savala? Is he going to be the 14? But I mean, is DCE going to go again? I'm just interested. Is it? I always forget how to say this guy's name. Uelu, the young guy coming through.
Benaya Uelo?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be? And they're going to go the.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got big raps on him in 9.
We've actually got DC on Potty Monday. We filmed it just
Okay.
a few days ago.
Yep.
And one of the questions we do ask, when I say we, I mean my father and brother, they asked about his future, and he does answer it. And at the moment, he's very open. It sounds like he's very open to playing next year. So,
Wow.
Yeah,
who
find your
knows?
voice on that potty, Johnsy. You've been getting good raps, mate. Get in there.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys provide such a-
Interrupt him for a whole potty. I reckon that
You know
would
what
be
he's
gold.
like. You guys did a potty together. Remember,
That
you
would
guys
be
did
gold,
the.
yeah.
Was there a radio slot down in Melbourne together?
Yeah.
He's very
But
hard to
we
get a
got
word
kicked
in.
off because SEN just
You know what?
couldn't handle it. It's too much Triple M.
All
I
the
gotta
call-ins.
say, a prank would be good. If
Yes.
like how many times you could interrupt Coop to piss him off in a podcast.
It would take, I
It
reckon,
wouldn't
3
work.
interruptions and he'd stop the podcast.
It wouldn't. Yeah, that's what. It wouldn't work. Honestly, even the first one, he'd almost like walk out of the room.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good
that's
content.
cracker.
That's good
Perfect.
content.
Do it,
He would
Johnsy.
get the shits.
Get in the hot seat.
Yeah,
Chat.
you film it all. Put it on socials. Like, be like, basically, yeah, it's a prank. I'm going to see how long he can go getting interrupted before he blows up and walks out.
Yeah, we should do it actually. Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
And he's too arrogant to listen right now. You won't be listening to this
No,
podcast.
won't.
Way too arrogant. Mate, ever since he went to Kiss FM, changed.
It changed him.
Yeah,
it
massive,
changed. And then
massive.
like he's obviously
big
left,
dog now.
Yeah, well, pressure makes diamonds, but it also makes rubble. We've seen what he's done. We've seen what he's done there. He's absolutely imploded the Colin Kaepernick show.
They're done.
You know,
Falling
Storm
apart.
are now going for their 4th loss in a row.
Manly sacked their coach.
Manly sacked their coach. There's a lot of damage being done. Like their podcast.
Titans haven't won a game.
Mate, at this rate, their podcast is going to implode within the next 6 months as well. So who knows, Kebby? Might have to find him some employment soon.
Okay, we'll reach out. You got I think he has my number. He might have deleted it after I messaged him. All right, powered by Lontel, guys. Lontel.net.au/bloke. You know the drill, guys. Use the code bloke. Get your discount. It's free to join for 7 days, and you don't need a credit card. You don't need a contract. Plus, you get $25 credit. So yeah, powered by Lontel. And that $1,000 giveaway, that's going to be ending very, very soon, guys. I'm thinking probably in the next 7 days or so. So make sure to join up. And currently, which is also ending soon, they've got a 6-month discount on all of their packages. Okay, boys. Did you see the Gold Coast Titans retro jersey with the Chargers?
I did. I actually seen your post this morning. And I also seen a little nostalgic clip of old Presto in the actual real old jersey.
No
that
way.
design. Yeah, it was very cool to see. And then to see his son in the jersey. But look, I'll be brutally honest. I don't love the design.
Okay.
But I love the theme and the colours. Like the blue and the purple, it just looks sick. Any retro kind of alternative jersey, I find it very easy to get around.
Do you like?
I love it. Big fan. Did you ever feel different when you wore the away jersey? You know, when there was just something
100%.
different. You know what I mean? I felt like I played my best.
Your persona changed.
Yeah.
Well, I love the Broncos one because it was white. I used to love the white jersey.
Yeah.
Sandor, you
big
son
fan.
bitch. I reckon, mate, it's an unreal jersey, and I really rate
I
the
love
design.
the jersey. Just the design.
Reni's one's coming down with his lifetime membership. That's coming soon. After
Let's
backing them
go.
against the who was their win against the other week?
Wow.
Dragons.
Dragons.
Are you serious?
sorry, I couldn't forget the Dragons. Sandor.
Remember your only win.
Yeah, you only win. You can't
Jesus
remember it.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, because we've had some great performances, and we've had some tight losses. That Dolphins was a tight loss.
Some rough calls last week too.
Not wrong.
Forward pass was a
I
forward
believe
pass
you
or what?
exposed yourself like that.
Exposed.
Cutting that clip.
It's the first time exposing me in that sentence. I've been used in that way.
Exposure.
I like the design. I think it's really cool. I think I really like the fact that they're leaning into their history a bit more. Like, not so necessarily the Gold Coast Titans history, but I love the fact that the team in there at the moment are leaning into rugby league history on the coast.
Yep.
Leaning into all those past sides.
Yep.
I think it's something the Gold Coast Titans have really needed. Like, even, being more involved the family this year. Like, I think a lot of people look at the Titans and think about that history starting in 2007, but really, when you look at rugby league on the Gold Coast, it's got a long history, and it's I love the fact that they're embracing it.
I like that.
I'm with you, mate. I think that, I understand there's been all these different organisations, but it still is rugby league on the Gold Coast, and I reckon they should do the Tweed Seagull. It's Tweed Seagulls. Seagulls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Seagulls.
Seagulls. Oh my god, seagulls. Stuff like that. I reckon that they should just lean all the way in. Any team that's I guess from probably Ipswich even, that's ever been maybe to the tip of the border.
Yeah.
Just lead in. I know Tweed is across the border, but technically it was. I would assume I would think it was a Gold Coast team. So I like it, and I'm just imagining because the Tweed jersey, that was black and white, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can just imagine a
It was
sick
black and
jersey.
white. I remember Wally Lewis in it. Imagine being referred to as a seagull. You know what I mean?
No,
He's a seagull.
It's like
I think you were
the
almost shocked. You wanted to give him the Sea Eagle title.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, is it a seagull?
Or maybe they was playing as good as the Manly Seagulls have been for a while. And that's
See, I
what got me
love
confused.
the seagull title. It's like you're the bin chicken. It's like you're a scrapper. You
you're a
fight.
scrapper.
You fight for everything. Like
Yeah.
that's an easy identity to build off
I
for
like
seagulls.
that.
You just fight for everything. You fight for every chip you can get. if there's a bloke sitting there eating his chicken nuggets, I'm going to come in and I'm going to steal it. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I love the jersey. I think it's sick. Cooper Boy here at the moment. He's looking. Geez, he's a good player. But
That blue is nice.
the
See,
blue's nice.
The chain on too.
Yeah,
Sandor,
he's
you like that?
chained up. That's right up your
Button
alley, mate.
down.
He's Captain Cook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's chained up.
He's opened the collar there
Great
too.
collar.
Yeah. And he's dropped the shoulders to widen them a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's even pulled the chain back to be lower
Tighten
on
it
the
up.
back of his...
He's trapped up
Back
as
of his
well.
neck, yeah.
I reckon he's brought the traps up a little bit here. And then he's also got the one leg up to get the quad muscle out showing, which respect. This is a pro at work.
Yeah.
It's one of those
He knows
things,
what he's doing.
a fan's buying it and they put it on and they go, Why don't I look as big as Cooper Bye?
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty, boys, big news. Purdue to Cowboys until 2030. What are your thoughts?
What is he, 20 years old?
Yeah, super young.
I think he's done some amazing things already in his career. He's lightning quick, and I think it's a good investment in a player that's got loads of upside. And I think the Cowboys need some of this at the moment. So I like it. I like him as a player. And look, is there things that he can improve? Yes, but at 20 years old, that investment makes a heap of sense to me.
You know what's crazy, and I agree with the decision. Things have changed, but like, man, 5-year deals and that, they used to be the rarest
Unheard
of the rare.
of.
Well, Cowboys were the
everywhere.
first for a 10-year, weren't they?
Yeah, with the Tamalolo.
What did he sign as? What do you see his best position?
See, that's what we were discussing yesterday. Is like, Drinky, there's been already whispers of like, is he going to stay after his deals till 2027? Then you got Clifford, who I think is probably playing much better than they thought he would. Like, they thought he'd play well, but Clifford's been their best player to start the year.
Is Purdue a fullback?
Yes.
Well,
I personally think
that makes sense. He does look like...
Well, I think he grew up playing 5'8", correct?
Yeah, I think, but I personally think he's more of a fullback. But you think it did grow up playing 5'8", yeah.
I think if you're doing your apprenticeship as a first grader, keep him in the centres for a few years until he develops like a little bit of body size, and then you figure out what position he really is.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great signing, and I just love genuine speed in teams, especially with the way our game's gone. You need that kind of speed.
If he's a 5'8" by trade, I'd actually love to see him fullback.
He played 5'8" a couple of games last year.
Yeah, defensively just struggled a little bit.
But now he's had all that big stint as a centre. Like you'd like to think that sharpened it up a little bit.
What do you reckon, mate?
I like it. I think he's a great signing. I think he's a really good young talent, and speed kills, especially now with the new rules. Everyone knows that. Yeah. My only concern is how much and if there is a plan in terms of spine. Because if you're paying him, I think I might have seen it yesterday, it was $750 a year. Like if you're paying someone at $750 a year, it's not really going to be, unless it's a Brian Toto, an outside back, unless it's a fullback. So obviously there is eyes on the spine somewhere. It's just about finding where in the spine. And the other thing too is like paying someone $750 to be a spine member. You sort of have to prove yourself, right? Like you can't, if it doesn't work out, then they're going to be sitting there with their, what's hanging out. Like,
how good a 5'8" was he?
They struggled, so they dropped.
He was much better at centre.
Yeah, much better centre.
But coming up, was he like a gun 5'8"?
I'd assume so. Yeah. I didn't.
I just think if the defence is the problem, surely being an NRL centre for X amount of time is going to sharpen that up. Yeah. I know there's a little bit of difference with the way that you need to take on lead runners and stuff, check and go, but mate, that has to have done.
The only thing I'd say about the $750 in the new salary cap, like that actually for a potential, do we all agree he probably will play Origin in the next few years?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
At least be close to it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. To be honest, I didn't realize he was that young. I didn't know he was 20.
He's young as shit.
Yeah,
well, that's good. That's good money though. What were we talking about? Connor Tracy. We were kind of like 500 would be the ceiling. Like, that's good money.
But the only thing is, like, I think Purdue, they're looking at him. Okay, if he hits his straps and plays Origin at centre in this new salary cap, $600K is probably worth about $750. So if I'm paying $750 for a young Origin level centre,
that's a good deal.
That could potentially go to fullback. Now that's what I wanted to ask you. What happens there? Drink water.
Well, what do you know about the Drinky situation?
Well, it looks like, and look, I don't know. Maybe they can fit them both in, or maybe the Clifford situation. They wait and see if Clifford keeps playing the way he is. The good thing about Clifford is you could probably keep him there for $300 or $400K as a half, unless he goes on and keeps killing it, and another team needs a half desperately. But I would say like him signing until 2030 would suggest to me that they're probably looking for him to take over at fullback after 27, which would mean that means Drinky will be 31 years old. 30 years old at that stage. I don't know, and that's where I'm a little bit worried.
Drinky will get a club like that
unless he's been bumped now. If it's ended 27, unless he's been bumped by PNG.
Yeah, but I just be careful what you wish for, because I know Drinky has his defensive lapses, but attacking wise, he is fucking unbelievable at fullback.
Yeah. Essentially, the Cowboys just had to lock him in. It doesn't matter where. You just got to get him in a long-term deal.
And centers are very rare at the moment.
Especially young ones. I'm trying to think. We got Rob Toya.
Yeah, I was about to say, who are your Origin centers at the moment? Because at the moment, I can only think of if KP or Walsh are playing fullback. You got Hammer on the left, and then you got Toya on the right as the
back in our
incumbent.
Centre was stacked. Oh, mate.
I think we're getting back there.
You reckon?
Yeah, like when you think about it, like you've got not the Queensland's a bit lighter, but you got Purdue coming through. But when you look at New South Wales, you've got Bradman Best, you've got Crichton, Latrell. You've got Casey McLean.
But do you stack up Bradman Best
McLean,
against like, I don't know, when we're talking about heyday of New South Wales, I'm thinking the Gazniers,
Cooper.
like,
I'd say
I don't know
Crichton and
about
Latrell
that.
do.
Yeah, true.
I'd back
I
those
just feel
boys
like
to go toe-to-toe.
most teams had a pretty bloody good centre.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we're getting back
agree.
to those days.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I'd agree with you. Like Joey Manu was out and out just the best centre, and there was, Latrell had moved to fullback, and then you had
Also-
Gagai that was wing or centre, and Val that was wing or centre.
I also think the position has probably changed a little bit. Like the traditional centre back in the day, they had like those genuine one-on-one opportunities. They were a great defender, whereas now you kind of need to be a little bit of a hybrid.
Yeah,
True.
That's true.
So going to be interesting to see what happens. The great Joey Johns calls for 5-minute sin bins.
Love it.
A series of sin bins over the Easter weekend has prompted league great Joey to call for NRL to consider making 5 min. I think 10 minutes nowadays is too long, he said on Nine's Freddie in the 8th. The sin binning has a huge effect on the game, and any hit to the head that isn't a send-off, I have no problem with 10 minutes in the sin bin. But I just think a professional foul now is 5 minutes. What do you reckon, boys?
I love it. I think the sin bins has just run rampant. It has a massive impact on the game. And if we are going to keep the rule set where, as Joey mentioned, everything bar head contacts, like the Pandora's box is open for sin bins. So if we are going to unleash them the way that we have been consistently, we have to make an adjustment. And a 5-minute sin bin would be a great start, I reckon.
I think you're spot on. It has too much of an effect on the game, the 10 minute, that 10 minutes. Although those momentum swings, you can chase down points, right? But, 5 minutes in bins, professional foul. Do you see people giving more professional fouls at wage to get that 5 minutes?
That's my issue with it. My issue with it is like the
You
10
reckon, though?
The reason what the 10 minutes does, but it sort of distincts the black from the white. There's no real grey. So like on the weekend, you have minor incidences, or like in that the really tight Para Tigers game where they had the head highs, right? And they might have been just touches to the face, and they're definitely not a 10 in the bin. But now, does it make sin bins more regular? Like if there's 5 minutes, are the refs more willing to give them away? So now we're going to see stages of the games where there could be 3 or 4 blokes at a time doing in the middle of 5-minute sin bins.
But
like,
be
is that
honest,
gonna
boys,
be-
did you ever in a game think about doing something to get a strategic advantage with a penalty or a sin bin? Honestly. I mean, I'm on the wing, but I didn't.
I'm with you. I didn't either. The only thing I will say is like, look what's happened just with the fucking 6 agains in the extra 20 metres. The referees, the application, we are terrible at our application in rugby league.
Yeah.
And so like the 5 minutes, if we think that sin bins are bad now, imagine what you're getting sin 5 minutes for. You'll be fucking
Do you feel like
nasty
they're too sin bin
like
happy?
they're already too sin bin happy now. Imagine what they'd
like
fucking
the
be
first
doing.
week of it, the first week of it, where they're like, "Okay, guys," they do a big presentation to the referees at training, and the refs go, "Yep, sweet." And refs are very similar to players. Like if you tell the whole playing group this week, we're going to lay in the ruck, we're going to take as much time as we can. They will do it, and they'll probably give away a million 6 agains. Now, if you get the ref seed, make a big deal of it, plus the media coverage, in their heads, the refs are going, "Sweet, all right, like." Let's start looking for minuscule penalties that could be 5 in the bin.
Yeah.
Is it just going to become an annoyance on the game? That's my only
also
thing.
the 10 in the bin on the weekend. Like I didn't think that. I don't think at the moment, like as in right now, sin binning is a big issue for the game. I think the bigger issue is that 20 metres 6 again and all the 6 agains that have been given. I actually think they've gotten pretty.
It was
good.
worse last year.
Yeah, they've gotten pretty good at the 10 in the bin. Like I just. For example, the Tiger situation with that player, I thought they just had no option. The bloke's fucking ankle twisted the other way. Like there's a Bailey Simonson, his ankle was completely fucking dislocated. I just thought the ref had no other option. I know you shouldn't rule on how bad the injury is, but some things are so extreme that you've just got to take action.
Always plays a
I think they take mitigating circumstances into account, not just in the judiciary, but on the field as well, right? So, although it was a complete accident for someone to break their leg, he had to. I'm happy with it. Whereas I saw an argument with people saying that it wasn't 10 in the bin. We've seen others. So you've got to take that sort of mitigating circumstance into account, right?
Yeah. But this is what happens when you drop a long list of rule changes every year untested.
Well, what happens is you go, here's all these rule changes. Now let's make, like, for example, we never had an issue with 10 in the bin 5 years ago, or 10 years, I'll say 6-7 years ago. But now we've introduced all these other rules. Now we're introducing more rules to keep up with the new rules.
Too much.
And then before we know, we're just chasing our tail every single year, changing more rules to fix the old rules that got changed only 2 years ago. And I just think that, like, let's just let the game settle for a little bit.
Yeah.
and then get some data on what the fuck is going on. And also, can we fucking introduce some rule changes in reserve grade first and test it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, far out, man. Like,
100%.
I just don't...
Got to be done for a year before you even think about implementing it into the NRL.
Yeah.
Just let the game settle.
I just think too, like, I think any 10s in the bin, sin bins in general across the board should be taken out of the ref's hands, and it should be the bunker with the best angles of everything. Like, the ref can give a penalty, that's fine, but then if they are advised to give someone 10 to the bin, that's when it should happen. Like, I think in the heat of the moment and going off your own memory of what happened 2-3 minutes ago for a referee, I just feel like, and then with the new rules, the game's sped up. They're under fatigue as well.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's going to be any sin bins, it should be coming from the referee, from the bunker.
Yeah, with more time to look at it, more information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you have to give the referees as much information and help as you can in terms of those incidences where they're just purely going off their own memory there.
You know what a good example is, to back your point, is the sin bin. And look, maybe it was a sin bin, maybe it wasn't. Warriors versus the Tigers, where Pompey reacts because he looks like he's running out of his own in goal, and he gets 10 in the bin for tackling the Tigers player.
Yeah.
Now, if the ref had taken some time, they might have had enough vision to say, oh, Pompey was just reacting. Like, it wasn't a professional foul in the sense that he intentionally tackled him to stop the play. You know what I mean? Like, it's an example of more time.
And the big one, like what Ren was just saying before, like, if there is a mitigating circumstance, like someone goes off injured, I think that it shouldn't really matter what kind of penalty it is. If they lose a player for any sort of foul play, then it goes like for like. Like, the fact that of how bad the injury was to Bailey Simonson on the weekend, I feel like that what type of injury shouldn't play a factor, but the fact that he has to go off because of the penalty,
foul play.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of that as well.
Can I ask you what you guys thought of the Mitch Moses penalty in the challenge?
Oh, as in the...
Are you happy with it?
With the
Easter
Jack
Monday?
Williams? Was it Jack Williams that got up? Or are you talking about the head high?
The head high. To kick for... to go...
Look,
See, this
technically...
Technically, it is, but there's mitigating circumstances because Mitch Moses, he's the one that slipped over, not the Tigers player.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where I'm a little bit funny with it. I'm like, well, he did clip him high.
Yeah.
But if he didn't slip over and it's that low to the ground...
That's been a rugby league issue for a while, like at least the last 10 years or more. Like,
imagine that determined a grand final.
Yeah. Like, when you're even like... I remember even just, like, playing juniors, like, over 10 years ago now, like... If there was someone literally lowering themselves and they cop a hand, the ref would almost go, you either wear like longer boots, don't slip over, or don't lower yourself. Like, I do find like some of the kickoff penalties where blokes literally like lower their head a little bit and it goes straight into someone's shoulder. I go, it's a little bit on the player there who's running the ball. Like, if you lower your head and that person's like either smaller than you or a little bit taller, but their shoulders are lower, it's kind of on you to protect your head a little bit too.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I think the cleanest way to adjudicate it is just put all the onus on the defender, because then you get in this weird, like, okay, so some of the onus is on the attacker, but I tend to agree with you of like, sometimes players, when they slip over, it's like, how's that the defender's fault?
Yeah.
Like, the defender literally could not have done anything different because he didn't know the person was about to slip over. But then it comes to like, okay, where do you draw the line of responsibility?
Yeah, but on that, Kempy, we've added so much to the ref's plate.
Yeah.
They, like, back in the day, that circumstance, Jonzy, the ref could actually look at things, make decisions based on what was fair, what was equal. Now, there's so much for them to consider and take into context.
They had 2 refs for a period, fuck.
Exactly. I think about Suaalii and Walsh in Origin, and I agree with your point. Like, you know, I had my differing opinions on it, but they lost him. They lost that player, so it's like it's an eye for an eye. So I don't disagree with that. All I would say is people need to understand that the refs don't just go in there making their own decisions. Like, from the top down, they're getting pressure. They have to be focused on this. They have to be pushing this. And I recently went through this with Run Nation, but I think you've got to take away some of the responsibilities. And that's a good example. Like, let the refs have a focus on the game and take away some of the things that they need to adjudicate on, the infringements and the focus. And if we can palm it off to the bunker.
Well, I will say...
The fact that we have a bunker. Like,
yeah, exactly right.
Respectfully, sometimes I'm like, what is the touchy doing?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes...
Do we need a touchy?
Like, touchy's like, look, respectfully, and look, I'm sure from the top down, you know, there's a reason why, but I'm like, sometimes, like, you've only got one job. Like, for example, like, someone steps out or doesn't step out or getting them on side or whatever, and they're not doing much.
When was the last time a touchy came in with their flag up?
No, mate.
I want to see it. I do want to see it.
touchy's a
with a
dying
big, like
breed,
a
isn't
foul
it?
play that they saw or something
Yeah,
like
come
that.
run
Maybe
ahead.
maybe it's bloody. They do it via radio potentially.
Yeah,
And
they
they
do.
are. They're basically first grade referees. It's not as if we can't give them additional 1 or 2 responsibilities.
Yeah.
I just
like
want to
this.
see a touchy come in with his flag.
Even the Walshy try, he didn't even want to raise the flag for
No.
that.
Yeah.
I think he was celebrating. He's a Broncos fan.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure if I trust the application for it. I just feel like then we're adding more rules to change more rules to change more rules to fix more things.
Band-Aid.
I just let's the game settle. Let's get a bit of data. Let's see how teams are manipulating things. Like I personally think the biggest concern from an adjudication perspective is the manipulation and application of the 6 again calls. I just think that it has affected our game so much. And I felt like we got into a really good spot last year of the 40-metre line because it stopped people. Now it's just so obvious what the good teams are doing. Like as soon as they lose, if they lose the ruck in the first or second tackle, boom, hold them down straight away. And they just go, all good. Whereas like when it gets to the 4th or 5th, they're jumping off straight away. I will say as well, some of the 6 agains that get called, like the refs are literally expecting as soon as the player touches the ground, you've got to pull straight off. And it's like, that's literally touch footy. We are playing touch footy at this point. And you've heard some of the players say it's like touch footy out there.
It's a funny one too because it actually makes it harder for the ref to have quick play the balls. It's so understated. I've always thought go for a 9K run and try and think to yourself and just have a real think about a few things and you'll realize just how hard it is for the ref. Like they cover I think it's 8 or 9Ks a game at least, right? Especially the guy in the middle. And like for them to do their role, especially with the new rules with less scrums, like where it's just play the balls, and then the 6 agains, like originally that was a penalty. So there again, the ref can reset, keep control of the game. The way the rules are designed now, which is more chaos, which favors the attack, but unfortunately for the refs, it actually makes the game more chaotic for them. Like there was a couple of times on the weekend where I was actually watching and people were doing doing the quick tap to go. And the refs, a lot of the time now, they're actually pulling them back, go, no, for whatever reason, whether there's a player in front or not. But I think a lot of the time, like it's almost like you need to give the refs like a moment to breathe.
It's a good point because like the game's getting faster and they have to call more calls in that time. So you're like getting back, getting the 10 back, got to look at the wrestle, got to look at everything going on. So
I'd almost encourage to have a ref a half.
But then the flow might change.
Interchange,
It would be. But I'll ask you this, boys. Do we all agree that the overarching outcome that the head of the NRL is working towards is a more entertaining game? A, do we think that's been achieved? And B, where's the context? Referees haven't experienced what the players do on the field. And my personal opinion, being brutally honest, I'm not aware of any ex-players with experience that are also weighing in on some of these decisions. So I think there's a massive gap there.
And what I don't like is this whole idea of like, we're trying to make the game more entertaining, and that automatically means, well, that just means more tries and more attack. It's like, defense is entertaining too.
Yes.
Holding your line for fucking 4 in a row, it used to be the best part of Origin. And so I just, this concept of like, okay, as many tries as we can get, that means it's more entertaining. It's like, no, it's not. I don't really enjoy 36 to 24 games. Like, I mean, I enjoy them still, but there's nothing better than like a 16-12 absolute nail biter. Now, I don't want to go back to the days where it was fucking like 8-6 and just slogfest. But I just this assumption that the more attack we have, the more entertaining it is. It's like there's a whole half of rugby league which is defense, which is just as entertaining.
The issue, a massive issue, and it's who the NRL are targeting now,
Just about
especially
to say the same
post-COVID.
thing, yeah.
They're targeting people that aren't like they want to bring new audiences, right?
Yeah.
And they're targeting people that aren't like just rusted on rugby league fans that with context, they know exactly what you're talking about, Kempy. They're seeing a team and knowing how hard it is. The storyline of a team defending their line for 5 sets is very hard to explain to new audience and new audiences other than a really cool acrobatic try or one big hit in defense. Like they're the two things that like you watch what the NRL do in Vegas and all the advertising is two things. It's either like mad acrobatic tries from wingers or massive hits.
Yeah.
True.
I just think that sometimes you can assume too much of like what the audience will want, and it's almost like a sugar hit. And are you? Yes, you might be getting more views or more eyes initially, but are you getting rusted? Are you getting that rusted on fan that's going to spend a lot of money? It's almost like in the content game, like you know, all of us, we could come out and just be fucking loud and put shit on the players and talk absolute nonsense and get so many fucking views. It'd be so easy. Like, guy has a bad game, we just sit here and just go, oh, fuck, how shit's he? Fucking blah, 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 all these jokes about it. It'd be the easiest thing ever. You get all these views. But the views that you actually get, are they valuable in the sense that they are going to actually support your platform?
Yeah.
Care about you long term, care about your, you know, the content you create long term. So the quick, easy route is the sugar hit, be silly, be crazy, all that stuff. Or you can still be funny, but in a more mature and sensible way. And so I reckon it's that balance between. I agree. I do understand why they're doing that.
Yeah. But
it's that balance between fans that actually watch and invest in the game with their hard-earned money and just eyeballs on the. Like a great example is like, I reckon, you know what Power Slap on gets crazy views. But are people really spending their money to go and watch that shit? No. Even UFC to agree. Now, granted, like that UFC is huge. It's huge. But like I reckon on social media, UFC's numbers would be fucking massive because it's just such a entertaining sugar hit little clips that they can put up.
Yeah.
But are they as invested as the soccer fan that, yes, is it as exciting moment to moment when you watch football or soccer or whatever? No, it's not. However, you have millions, tens and hundreds of millions of people that it's their life, it's their culture, it's their passion. It's trying to find that balance, really.
But I think the balance is out of whack right now. I think we've had 3 years of top down making some pretty crucial decisions, and I just think we need to bring it back and find the line a bit. We got some of the best minds in the game as coaches at both levels, assistant and head coach. Like bringing them in and some ex-players who actually have experience and analyse the game, it would only add value. I'm not saying give them the reins and let them make decisions, but some input, some strategic input at the right time to then go, okay, this is what we're thinking about and proposing for next year. Just feel like that would at the very least be a good addition.
Or at least, and this is the further point, like at least have a process of like, let's bring these through reserve grade.
Yeah.
Then see what the data says, see how they're getting manipulated.
I can understand, but then like the other side of me, the person that's not the passionate rugby league fan, that person knows that what they've done, although it's been detrimental, and to be honest, like I've played through this post-COVID period and seeing how the training affects people's bodies, especially soft tissue injuries, like it might have crushed a few careers. Like I've seen some blokes, but I'll tell you what it's done. The game's in the best position it's ever been.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, the game, if you don't grow, you die. And what they've done in terms of growing the game the last 5 years post-COVID, like it's been pretty outstanding.
100%.
Like it's, you know,
like I think we all agree. Like I like the 6 again. It's just I just think that sometimes you can go too far. But I agree with you. Like the changes that we've made to get rid of the wrestle, because that used to kill me. Fuck, that used to kill me how slow games got. No, I'm with you. Definitely. Yeah. Like overall, if I was to grade what the NRL has done over the last 5-6 years, I'd probably give them an 8.
Yeah.
Just
it's not all doom and gloom, but I like your take. I like your take. We're kind of trying to find rules to fix up rules that we've implemented. That's a bad scenario.
And just I guess. And I know, not for a fact, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of clubs that are frustrated with how these rules. They're not against the rules being implemented. They're just against the fact that they barely have any say in it, and there's no process. Like, why aren't we testing this stuff? But all in all, it's been a fucking huge win for the game. The game's never been in a better position. But it's like anything. Like, for example, even the NRL would probably agree with what we're saying, because in 2021, remember when they brought in the 6 again, it was the whole field, and it was truly like touch footy.
Yeah.
And even they brought it back. They said, oh, fuck, this is too much. So they went it to the 40 metres. And so even they would suggest, I mean, it's a nuanced conversation. It doesn't have to be fucking black or white. You can land in the middle somewhere.
They're just capitalising. That's what they're doing. They're capitalising on what they've got at the moment, what'll work, and they've done a decent job, although not perfect.
Yeah. I mean, literally no one is. I will say, fuck, I'm intrigued as to see what this next TV rights deal is.
Exactly right. Like they've seen that coming too, and they knew that they had to negotiate through COVID too.
Yep.
They had to negotiate that deal then. They've just spent these last 5-6 years just getting ready for this next one.
Because a lot of people don't realise this. The deal that we negotiated through COVID was almost a little bit of a step back financially, but it was more just like to get the game fucking through COVID and all this, everything was going on. And they've just been chipping away. Like the leverage they have now compared to, because like the reason why AFL is so much more than NRL is because the leverage they have with all the assets that they've built up. They fucking own a stadium. Like they could technically afford, let's say Fox or Nine or whoever it is, was like trying to lowball them, they could hold off and fund their own game for at least a while. Whereas we were in a position 5 years ago where we have no leverage. We can't hold off and go, okay, well, we're just going to wait to get a good deal. Whereas I don't know if we could hold off we definitely couldn't hold off as long as AFL now, but we could hold off a lot longer now than we could 5-6 years ago. So I'm so intrigued. But yeah, you make a good point. Like all in all, the NRL absolutely has we've gone to a whole new level.
On that point, Johns, it can be said it's not black and white. Do you sit somewhere in the middle? Just wanted to confirm.
I sit in the off-white.
Yeah, I tell you what. You know what's interesting is that he's now part of it. Like his family owns a club, and he took the NRL side in this whole argument. Like the guy, just wait a sec here. Like the NRL's done a really good job.
Pardon.
The old off-white picket fence.
There we go. 4 out of 8 on the weekend, mate.
Right in the middle. You wouldn't believe it.
I tell you.
That is fence.
And
4 out of 8.
I'm picking roughies too. I'm picking roughies, and I'm still getting 4 out of 8. So.
Okay. Here's some chat. Here's just some absolute dribble that I saw on SEN. This was Brian Fletcher and Chad Townsend. And dribble in the sense the topic's dribble, not the boys talking about it, because I think this shit's fun. Chad Townsend said on SEN that he thinks the Panthers could beat Queensland. Brian Fletcher disagreed, saying for 6 weeks that Queensland slow to play the ball down better than any other team. Greco-Roman wrestlers. Oh, fuck, here we go. 2 New South Wales. I can't believe anyone even thinks that they'd beat Queensland. Like, that's been the Achilles heel of New South Wales for so many years, was the fact that the Penrith system couldn't work against Queensland.
I was rattled more by Fletcher's comment. Like, there's not one Origin game, whether Queensland have won or not, where I've sat there and gone, geez, Queensland slowed to play the ball down. I mean, I could just be...
The game's fast as anything.
Wrong, but... And I don't agree. I don't agree that Penrith would beat Queensland.
So, yeah, on ask you,
Chad GPT. I don't know. Mate, given what I've seen this year, it'd be a good game.
Oh, it'd be a good game.
Yeah,
it would be a good game.
Bloody game.
Come on.
It would be a good game.
How many times do we have to be here? How many times do we have to be here?
It'd be a great science experiment from what I'd like to see. Because although they have tried to adopt the Penrith system in the Blues Origin side before, unless they've got Ivan in there and the entire playing group that's had a pre-season doing it, we wouldn't actually know how they go.
Do you reckon it'd be a draw, Johnsy?
It'd be somewhere. It'd definitely go to Golden Point. It'd be very interesting.
It'd be mad.
It'd be interesting, but no, come on, boys.
Nah.
Like, what are we talking about?
I can't say that they would beat Queensland, but it would be a cracker game.
Mate,
and the fact that it would be a cracker
They'll probably
game.
have 6 or 7 in the New South Wales side.
Mate,
6-7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Walshy
Penrith.
tore them apart last year in a prelim, baby. Come on, let's just pump
You know what? It's actually...
Mate, like it'd
I'm on the
be
fence.
Bro,
I actually think it's
Jack John's
underrated.
fence.
You got to remember, there's no strategy, there's no coming into camp. This is the Penrith team with their structure, with Ivan and the boys. I don't think it's bread and butter, bro.
Their structure is built on fatigue. You're against the fittest, the strongest, the fastest players in Queensland that we can assemble. Plus, obviously, the Queensland spirit, which always helps. The Penrith system for 5 years, like since Penrith have been dominant, Queensland have won more Origins. I'm pretty sure. I think you've only won 1 Origin. Is that correct, Matty?
Oh, take
Since
it.
2020?
Yeah. Whoa.
So 2. We've won 3.
They just put 50 on
You haven't
Melbourne.
won 5 premierships.
Melbourne's missing 6 or 7 players.
Melbourne, they completed at 94%.
Yeah, but
Harry Grant and Munster are in the side.
I've been glazing.
They've got the blueprint.
Listen, I've been glazing the fuck out of the Panthers this year. It's the best club side I've seen, as in how good they're playing. 5 rounds into a season, no doubt. But bro, we have been here for years. This Penrith system, it's going to be the new Melbourne Storm system in Origin. It's going to be the new thing, and it hasn't worked, bro. It hasn't worked.
The scary thing is that, and you just know if they were to go beat that side tomorrow, right? Let's say they won, you know exactly how they would have done it. They would have just suffocated them the whole game. Like what they've done this year, Penrith, it's not putting 50 points and then going through really hot periods of 10 minutes where they're scoring heaps of tries, and then really low periods of 10 minutes. The scary thing is that they've literally just slowly built, over the course of 80 minutes, it's like they ramp it up bit by bit and just grind.
Let me ask you this, boys. In a series of 3, do Penrith win a game?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to say yes.
I think they'd win a game.
I'm going to say yes.
So, I will say this Penrith side looks like it has the best chance because I feel like the old Penrith side was so systematic. They didn't actually have enough
3-0
flair.
Queensland.
I think so. Just, guys, you're not going to strangle the Queensland
You're a
side.
diehard. I respect
It goes to show
Good
how...
on ya.
We're talking about a club side that literally, they were in the prelim last year. And I know they're better. I've been glazing the fuck out of Panthers. And I know Panthers fans are going to hate me for it. I get all that. But we're talking about a Queensland, that team that has beaten this Penrith system more times than it's not.
All right, here's one. The GOAT Bronco side, which you've experienced, do they beat New South Wales?
Do they beat? No, I don't think so. Oh well, it's early 2000. No, it's a Joey Johnson shit. Nah, don't think so. I don't think so.
Do you reckon putting 50 on Melbourne's a bigger scalp than maybe one of their minor premierships? Do you reckon that's like if you're putting like
they were missing quite a few players?
Yeah, they were.
Minor premiership, and yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like if they were full strength, I would have said
it's
yes.
still hectic, but you can't like look at it and go and make like serious judgments.
That's one of one of the biggest like non competition winning like awards I've ever seen is like
2003
to get a Melbourne 50 scalp on your in your sports bar in your home is pretty big.
It's bellyache scalp. They scalped him after the game.
He scalped himself like a samurai.
So let's answer this honestly, boys.
Kamikaze.
Do you think that the Penrith Panthers would beat Queensland in an Origin series?
I'm going to say this.
Fence it. You're going to fence it.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's a fence it. I'm going to say that in a series of 3, they would win a game. That's my answer.
I concur.
I can get closer to that.
Mitigating circumstances,
Yes.
of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
1 from 3.
Perpetuate.
Let's go to our friend
No,
here.
I definitely agree with you. I think Campy's Queensland spirit though. What
1-1 and a draw. Queensland win.
Look, I'm willing to accept. I'm willing to accept one game. Like,
Okay.
There's a chance that happens. Like, I'm willing to accept that, but there's no way they've beaten Queensland in Origin in a series. Like, come on.
I agree. I agree.
Who's your Queensland captain this year?
Would be Munster.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, money man.
Munster. And we got some red.
You think
hot
the Mad Dogs letting Penrith beat him in a series of 3?
I don't think so.
don't think
Not
so.
Origin Munster anyway. Not Origin Munster. But yeah, look, I tell you what, it's such a compliment to Penrith
Light
Panthers.
this shit up in the comments. I want to know.
I'm going to be.
If you are out and out that Penrith would beat the Queensland team in a series, even one game, get in the comments and tell
I know
everyone your
Panthers fans are
opinion.
going to fucking light me up. But listen, I've been glazing the fuck out of Panthers. And I'll tell you what, it's a compliment that we're even having this conversation about how good the Panthers
There's
are.
never been a time where I would entertain any team beating an Origin side, ever.
Are there any of those Penrith boys that are in the Queensland Origin side?
No,
None of them.
Nah.
I think so. But it's going to be like, what do you do? Like Nathan Cleary's had a few shots, at winning series. I know he's got 2 series, I think. Right now, his form would suggest that he's definitely the front runner. His form's incredible. But Isaiah Yeo, do you put him at 13? I'd put him in the front row. I'd put Cam Murray at 13.
Yeah.
Liam Martin, obviously, he'll get
Always
his
like
edge
that.
back row.
I think
Casey
Cleary.
McLean, does he come
this
in?
Is the Cleary
the one?
Origin year, bruh.
Okay.
I reckon it's time.
Yeah,
It's time to just stamp it, and it's over. He's
He's
one
done
of the
it.
greatest.
Is this his Joey moment?
Yeah, I think
a
so.
Joey moment.
I think
Wow.
so. You feel that?
Feel it.
I think
Can
it's
you feel-
coming.
you're feeling a Joey moment.
Come on, there's nothing more that Cleary wants than his Origin moment. Nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing.
listen,
He doesn't need a 500th premiership.
I got crucified last year because I said that the Joey moment's going to come. I just don't know whether it's this year, next year, but it's going to happen. But I got crucified, so I'm Cleary Glazer. I'm with you. I just know about if it's this year.
He is on heat.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bull on parade this year.
Okay.
And then he signs with the Chiefs for $2 million tax
Oh,
free.
stop it.
Well,
They build him a castle.
Yeah, that'd be
Cleary
cool.
Castle.
That'd be awesome.
on the river there.
He doesn't even stay with the team. He's got a whole waterfront.
He's got his own bus. He's got his own bus.
the team are his servants.
Imagine that, yeah. Imagine
Private
that. He's got
jet.
a nice little castle sitting there on the hill there in Port Moresby, and he just,
He'll have a yacht, surely, parked up.
for sure.
Have to.
Well, speaking of Nathan Cleary, look, he hasn't confirmed anything. He just said basically he'd like to see what it was like to potentially just explore. Now, it
Another
might be
zero
just,
on the contract at worst. No problem.
I will say, if you are Nathan Cleary, and I know Panthers fans don't want to hear this, but what more is 6 premierships or 5 premierships? You've done 4 premierships, probably going to be 5 this year.
I think they'd just be happy to be Nathan Cleary, to be honest, Kevin.
No, but what I mean is at some point in his life, and he's only got a certain amount of years to experience this gift that he's got, and that he's worked on, but he's also been given just by luck of birth, all that kind of stuff. But he's worked extremely hard. He's only got a certain amount of years to live his life. And yes, it is incredibly a incredible privilege to play for the club and potentially probably win two more premierships in his career. But also, maybe he goes to live in Europe, gets paid $1.5 million a year at a rugby union club, gets to just Obviously, he is close to his partner there as well. Like, I do think that is a genuine possibility. Like, when you're thinking about your life, and he's only got, let's just say, what do you reckon? I'll just say a decade. He's got another decade to really cash in. I don't
think it's about cash, It's just like maybe just a
That's what
challenge.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
cash
surely
in,
you get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean, that's what I mean. I didn't mean cash in as in financially. I mean cash in a life experience. And it's
Legacy.
I think that's where he'll be at that time.
So if he couldn't sign with Penrith, let's put a scenario out there. What would his likely chances? Where would he sign? Do you think he's more chance of going to rugby?
I reckon he'd leave the game. I don't think he'd
Really?
play against Penrith. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, it would
the
be hard.
PNG maybe because of the money would be so hectic, maybe. But I reckon he'd leave the game, and he does seem like you see him when he, on his Instagram when he's traveling and everything like that. Like he seems to, obviously Instagram you don't really know, but it seems like he really does love that part of life. And I just think that what else is there to do in NRL?
Well, think back to Joey. When Joey was going to rugby, I remember you speaking about it with Lomax. As much as I was disappointed, I was also so excited. Like, this is our guy going over to rugby union. I want to see what he does. And that's the same way I'd feel about Cleary.
I feel like, that the union stuff, I feel like as a rugby league fan, you'd love to see it. I'd love to see that too. But I feel like the union crowd wouldn't accept him very well. They'd always have that, the league think they're better, et cetera, et cetera. But I think we were talking about it before, actually, before we started, where, there's a bit of rumours happening where the NRL are in talks with the Super League again. I'd love the first big move. If the NRL does purchase any stake in the Super League, the first big move is Nathan Cleary, have 2 years over there.
They just pay his wage to
give him ownership in a
do
team.
whatever you can do. Give him ownership, a part of a club, whatever it would be. Or even then, send them over as a package. Ivan and Nathan. They go to one of the lower tier clubs, not one of the big 5 over there, St. Helens, Catalan.
Netflix doco.
Exactly right. Netflix doco. NRL funds it, full production, and they just do it, go and strengthen the competition over there, and then do a few more tournaments at the end or mid-year where they can play teams against the Super League.
You've gone full corporate, Johns. I love that.
Imagine if, right? Imagine if he goes to, let's say, Wakefield Trinity, right? I think are they back in the champion?
Like the London Broncos or something like that?
Or London Broncos.
London
right?
Broncos would be cool.
I just like Wakefield for
Let's go London Broncos.
Shaky way.
Let's go. Ivan and Nathan go to Wakefield, right? They get back into the Tier 1 comp, or they're in there now, and they go in and they go on a 10-game winning streak, right? They're killing it. They're the talk of the town in the Super League at the moment, and then they get to come over here and play against, one of the competition leaders. Let's say they come over here and they play the Tigers at the moment, because who knows, the Tigers might be number 1 in a few years' time. They come over here and they win. That's massive news mid-year. Go back over to that competition. Suddenly, they're the head on the plate. Wakefield's now the head on the plate in the Super League comp. Now they all want to beat Wakefield. It could be one of the greatest, strategic moves by the
It'll be
NRL.
gangster.
Wow, there you
Are you
go.
privy with the deals that Lockie has done in PNG post-career?
As in Darren Lockyer?
Yeah.
No.
So, big deals. Being a part of, obviously, you've got these big corporations and mining companies. I don't think we understand what Nathan Cleary, being the idol of that country, would be exposed to in terms of commercial deals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Significant post-career.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not taking the piss. I reckon by the time he got all his sponsorships, if he was to go PNG, you're talking like $5 million a year, I reckon.
And post-career. You're the guy.
Yeah.
Something that's not spoken about enough too is the commercial viability of going to PNG.
Yes, I agree.
That's something that it's not really well spoken of, but if you're in an advertising world, if you're doing for a certain client, right? Australia, we strictly do advertising for inside of Australia, right? New Zealand would have their own commercial side too, where the NRL would sell separately. But if you're running a campaign for advertising in Australia, it might not apply internationally. Let's say, for whatever reason, let's say Timmy's lawyers are, they're advertising with the NRL and they're in Australia. They're not, when you got a game that's broadcasting in New Zealand, those ads wouldn't be broadcasting in New Zealand because it wouldn't apply.
Yep.
Now the fact that they've got the whole population of PNG and the fact that there's all that noise going around with the wagering at the moment, it's a massive opportunity for the NRL to make big dollars in advertising by broadcasting to a completely new nation.
To your point, Johnson, I think people see the tax-free and maybe a perception of a third world country, but what they don't understand, and there is kind of a dark side to it as well, with all the corporations and the resources and the mining in that country, there is huge money and big companies that are involved. Fortunately, the residents don't see as much of it, and that's a rabbit hole for another time. But I think it's very underrated, the commercial side of going there. We're only seeing the tax-free stuff being marketed at the moment, but it's much bigger than that.
It's also not like it's not all like it is. It's a dark like when you go into that. It's like one of those Black Mirror episodes. It's like it goes into one of those dark routes of commercial advertising, but also the ability to reach, let's say, the population of 1 million over there or 1 million of the locals. If you can advertise to 1 million people, you can also do a lot of good. Like there's a lot of things you can do good, like from a from an education perspective through to there's multiple avenues that can actually be, there can be a lot of good work done there too. So it's not all doom and gloom in terms of advertising to a new nation, but it's definitely going to open up a completely new avenue for the NRL, and it could be one of the biggest plays in rugby league history.
I'd love to know what it actually does for the economy, like someone who's in the know, like how much of an impact this is going to have on their economy.
I basically what you're saying as well, like think of the impact you're going to have on the youth over there. Like think about how many young boys and girls, that see the PNG side, the PNG Chiefs, and instead of going out with their mates and just going mental, they're like, you know what, like that's what I want to do. Yeah. So I'm going to go train footy. There's a pathway for me. Whereas I feel like a lot of young boys and girls at the moment that live over there, there's no pathway. Like it's such a fucking removed concept.
It's a big dream, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like that's for Aussies. Like that's not for us.
Or maybe by chance one day I'll get seen and picked up. It's very different when it's honestly, on home turf.
It's even like you could say it's almost like a soccer player in Australia dreaming of playing in the English Premier League.
Yeah,
like it's actually
That's a great example.
It's an even bigger one because. Like we at least have a lot more resources here in Australia to kind of train and connections, everything like. Whereas PNG, the infrastructure is nowhere near there.
Like even you talk about when we have player scandals, right? And and trust me, in the Johns family, we've had plenty of scandals. So we hear about this more than anyone. But it's correct. Like if you are at you've got eyes on you, right? If you've got 1 million eyes on you and they're seeing what you're doing, you are a role model for kids and for everyone else, right? This is a huge opportunity for, obviously, like that team over there and the fact of how rugby league mad they are. You've got players coming into this side that are going to be role models from day dot, and it's such a great opportunity to help the nation. But at the same time, like same thing over here, like. All the youth in Australia, all the youth in PNG, when you have access to seeing these role models be at their best, and it'll just do nothing but encourage the country.
Bro, you look at the Justin Olam story. He lived in the mountains, right? He started playing football at 16. By chance, he got a scholarship to go to university. Then he started playing football for the Hunters. And again, by chance, one game he was sitting there and someone called him from the Q Cup. And then he's at the Melbourne Storm. And then he's a premiership winner. Like,
have you been to PNG?
No, I've been.
It's off its head.
I've been to 6-7 times.
You have to go,
Love
Kempy.
it.
Yeah. It's too experience. Obviously, they'll lose their mind. But, bro, it's ridiculous.
My old locker mate was Adena Gebe at South Sydney, and he was just like so funny. Like second language was English. He'd spent time in the Q Cup before he come down to South Sydney, and then one day I was like, "What's he doing?" And looking over, and he's on his phone. He was playing COD on his phone, and he was just abusing people in English. It was so funny. But but like same again, like same as like him, for example. The best aspect of his game, when I remember during pre-season, you can ask Sandor this, Ren, the best aspect of his game was yardage. And it was because it was such a simplified role, because you didn't have to learn, you didn't have to communicate shape. It was such a simplified role that he'd get out there, do his best, he'd weave through tackles, and he'd get on the front foot, quick play the ball, go.
I don't give a shit what anyone says. There's nothing worse than playing the Coolmores, mate.
Oh.
It's one thing running through one brick wall, but try running through 13.
But this is a new aspect of like communication in the fact that now even building the pathway there's a new way, because you can see it from the get-go, and the way the Hunters have played for years, their strength is their yardage carries, which is the most simplest part of the game, but also the hardest part of the game. When we can start, when the communication and the coaching starts getting better, where people can go over there and educate their coaches and their people, suddenly we're going to start seeing them play a way more complex style of footy. But like the backbone of the way they play is always going to be their
yardage. Juniors nearly beat our Australian juniors recently. I think they did.
Hey,
I think
really?
They drew. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Cleary Chiefs. Let's go.
And I will say, like, if you can get the right infrastructure in place, it's a recipe for multiple premierships. You've got a whole country to pick from. It's almost New Zealand's a little bit different because obviously rugby is their biggest sport. But imagine New Zealand, where league was the #1 sport and the only sport. Like imagine those All Blacks players playing for the Warriors. Let's fucking win every single
Tell you what I'd love to hear, the chat, when the moment arises between Ivan and Nathan. Like, I would just love to know what Ivan's advice or perspective would be. Would it be like, I want you at the Panthers, let's do this? Or would it be like, I actually encourage you, this is a great opportunity. I'd love to know.
If I had to guess, I just think that Nathan would be looking at it going, I've only got a certain amount of life to live. And I've done everything. And he's gone.
The other one too is I reckon he'd want to win a premiership with his brother.
Jet, you reckon? Okay.
Do something there.
Wow, I like
Great
that.
shout.
I like that. And Jet's going quite well.
He's going good in Cup.
Yeah,
I've been watching him play this
yeah.
year. He's been going pretty good. So
Imagine that. Another Cleary.
Okay, what about this argument as well,
Not short
boys?
on options, Jesus.
I know league has grown so much, and we've got the NRL's PR person here that talks about how great it's going. But
Slay.
But is there still an argument to be like, we aren't a worldwide game? And if, let's say, Sonny Bill had stayed in rugby league, he wouldn't have been the person now he is a world star, like truly a world star. Is there still an argument to be made that we have certain players in our game that are still a little bit bigger than the game? And is Nathan Cleary potentially, and when I say bigger than the game, I'm not talking in an arrogant sense. I'm just talking about the potential to be a worldwide star. He's dating Mary Fowler, who is a worldwide star. He's got this big Adidas deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that argument still hold weight, or has the game grown past that? Now, I do think it's grown past it for a lot of other players. And like back in the day, the whole argument, I can go and play in Europe and I'll get paid $1 million for some French rugby union team. That's no longer you get paid $1 million playing in league. Is that still an argument, do you think, or do you think the game's grown past that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a tough one.
I just would I'm a big fan and an advocate for seeing a player take these opportunities on. I'm not like, no, rugby league, we have to, I want to see him flourish. I want to see him be a world superstar, because at the end of the day, he's flying the flag that we all love.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's get into, Cleary, favourite moment from his 200 games, boys, because it's 200 game tonight.
2013 grand final.
No,
it's 2023. 2023 grand final. I think that period of time was just stupid. The touches he had, it was just class.
I don't know. One moment that comes to mind is when he nailed that field goal to go in extra extra time.
When was that?
Titans against the Titans.
No, they were playing Para. They ended up getting beat, but remember the bell had gone. There was a penalty.
And did you do those ones, the ice ones? I think you did those. Yeah.
And when was that from
40 out for 2 points.
That was good.
That's a great moment.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the 2023 grand final. Like, he was people forget he was having a Barry. Like, he was not playing that well. Like, defensively, he was getting carved, and somehow, some way, the mental fortitude to just flip the script and go, nah, this is changing.
Michael Jordan-esque. He's had a few shit first halves.
Crazy.
And then come out and put 40 on the team.
Craziness. What was your favourite moment, mate?
Well, not so much a moment, but probably like a year was I really rate their 2020 year. So remember, if you don't remember, 2019 was a bludger of a year for the Panthers.
Yeah,
they had controversy. They had like so much going on. There was a lot of pressure on Ivan and Nathan. Remember, all the father-son, like similar to what's been going on at the Dragons this year. There was a lot of, not as heavy as now, but like there was a bit of that going on. Nathan was obviously a great player, and Ivan's a great coach, but they just had so much pressure put on them as a squad, and like it looked like it was going to get really ugly. And then what they did going to 2020, they got beat by the Storm in the grand final, but what they did that year, it was pretty incredible, I thought.
Yeah, forgive me, I was thinking about the 2013 premiership when they won the under-13s, him and the boys. Had a crack again.
Let's get into. Don't forget, follow me on the feed, Sportsbet, and watch every game live on KO. Okay, let's get into the round preview, boys. Doggies versus Panthers. I thought you weren't a Doggies fan. There was a bit of pain there, Reni.
Here we go.
It's a bit of pain there.
Hurts.
They're paying $5.80 head to head. I'll go straight to you, Reni.
I think any team would be paying $5.80 at this point.
No, not the mighty Broncos.
Look, lot of uncertainty. A lot of talk around Bulldogs this week, obviously with the Sherry Crichton situation.
Give me your thoughts on that, the whole situation. What's going on there?
I wasn't mad about it, Kempy, bringing O'Sullivan in. I genuinely wanted to see a number 7 come in. Now, granted, it probably wasn't the best time to give him a crack, and he did have not the best game, O'Sullivan. I wasn't too invested, especially with all the noise we've had all week with the like for like. When I look at it back at it now, probably Sherry was the right option to put in at that time. So, look, with Canterbury, I feel like they're at a point where they're a little bit confused about their attack, which is affecting their D. You know, they've built this defensive system that's worked. Now they've sort of front loading their attack, and it's they're moving positions and there's a lot of confusion. I think they need to go back to a simplistic style of footy, concentrate on their D, kick long. With backing your defence comes confidence in your attack. So I can't see them beating Penrith, but I just want to see a simplified attack and then going back to backing their D.
Do you think finally the noise is seeping into the playing group to
Yeah,
a degree?
I think it's to the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's starting to play its part. I'm a little bit. I'm hoping that Gus doesn't have too much involvement in the Serrato coaching. And
What are your thoughts on Gus coming out and contradicting Serrato?
I didn't like it.
Never a good thing.
I don't like you sort of undermining the coach. There was one thing I picked up on 100% footy maybe last week, and Gus didn't know Ciro was coming on, and I just looked into it. Like I was like, well, that's a bit bizarre. That's a bit
Very strange.
You know, I'm a deep
that Ducks and
thinker.
Drapes though? I feel like that was like they
Yeah,
played
did you?
that.
I just thought, I'm not too sure. But just given the circumstances at the moment, I just hope that Ciro's got full control of this team. He's making his own decisions. They need to go back to being a defensive side. The attack will come. I just thought it would come a lot sooner.
Because I'd love to know your thoughts on, for a club that was so ruthless last year. Like I've never seen. I don't think have you ever seen anything like that where on top of the table and a 7 gets moved on and essentially your 9 gets moved? Have we ever? I've never seen that.
No.
And at the time, although I thought it was ruthless and although I thought maybe wait till the end of the year to do it, I understood what they were saying. They're going, yes, we are on top of the table, but we're not going to win a comp with this current setup. So there was a reason behind it. Now, even though I was like, it's very aggressive. What I don't understand now, though, is that for a team that was so ruthless last year, now it seems like they're almost too afraid to make another call that they need to make in the halves. Is that right? Is that wrong? What are your thoughts there, mate?
They're second guessing, aren't they? Like I thought Birdo and Galvin were actually doing not a bad job. But I feel like the whole conversation around Birdo being shifted, is he going to be? How is he feeling? Bulldogs have always been built on this team first mentality. I think Birdo's fine. I think more of the pressure, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to shit on the kid, is Galvin at 7. And I'm not talking about him not being a 7, just his fundamentals, his passings off, things like that. They just need to go back to a simplified way of playing because it is really affecting their defence.
Gone from ruthless to uncertainty. That's not good.
It's like expectation this year's too had like a massive toll. Like they finished 3rd last year.
They fell off a cliff and still finished 3rd.
And they had a great start to the year. I feel like 6 rounds in we are right now.
Yeah.
And they've had a bye and 2 wins still. So they're 50-50.
Yeah.
It's not Dragons level, you know what I mean? So, I think if they had this start last year, I can guarantee... Now, I know the Galvin stuff's played into it, but I can guarantee they wouldn't be as under the pump as they've been in the media the last couple of years because of expectation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the difference with this year is everyone knew their attack needed tweaking. Everyone knew heading into this year, the one piece of the puzzle that Bulldogs need, at least statistically, is just 12 more points a game, maybe 16 if I'm being super generous. And they've came into this year and their attack's gotten worse. It's the worst in the comp. The Titans have better attack than the Bulldogs this year.
Yeah, way better attack.
The next 3 games is Eels, Bronx, and Cowboys. I don't think they're going to beat Penrith, but if they put up a solid performance, and then there's every chance that they could win their next 3 games.
Well, this will be a good indication. Now, I know Penrith have improved, but this will be a good indication of how far the Doggies have slipped because they were the very few teams when Penrith were on their run that put up a massive fight.
Right, if this is a blowout, it's alarm bells.
Yeah. I think what's flying under the radar and all the focus being on the centre pairing and the halves is they're not winning the middle. There's no creativity through the middle third of the field.
You are missing Leo Thompson, so there's that.
Yeah, but I'd like them to front load with Satili. I get coming off the bench, he brings that aggression. You'll get him on the front foot, but we're not getting it from the start. So start with your best start with your best pack. Yep. So if you're getting beat through the middle, obviously your halves and edges aren't going to click, right? It's very easy as a defender to read shape when it's coming off the back of a slow play of the ball.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like what's flying under the radar and Leo Thompson missing.
Yeah.
They need some middles. They need a bit of more creativity through the middle third of the field.
I do agree with you though, Ren. Like you said before, though, I do think that their attack will come.
Yeah.
You just don't want it to come too late.
That's
the
right.
only thing. It will.
Okay, Dragons, I think we're all going Penrith, obviously.
Yeah.
gotta go
I
the
mean,
myth.
you said they'd beat Queensland in Origin series. Dragons versus Manly. What is Adam doing at the Dragons?
It's a messy play. I've been in these positions, right, where you're at a club where you just can't get a win. The harder you train, the more you buy in.
Flano needs a whiteboard.
He needs a blueprint, doesn't he? That it just things aren't coming off it, but it's their fundamentals that they're getting wrong. You know, it's just basic: play the balls, kick, chase. They're passing. You know, things that can be fixed. I don't mean that they've got a roster that can go on this massive run, but there are things that can be fixed.
Are they a little bit too slow through the ruck with their forwards? Like Sewer and Leilua have been quite good this year, but I wonder, like, have they got a pack that would suit 10 years ago? I don't know,
Fair
maybe.
point.
Oh, look, Luciano Leilua, on his day, is a beast.
He's been great this year so far.
He's been really good, and he's just had some small errors, some attention to detail in his game. Same with Jaden Sewer. You know he's going to just belt someone. He's going to run a hard line, but he's coming up with a few errors as well.
Yep.
Who's
But
your
like-
other? The Couchman's
the Couchmen are decent, but like you got Gula and Laurie, like they're two really big boppers that aren't quick across the ground. Couchman brothers are an interesting one. They've been good. They're rookies, but do they need to be supplemented with a very fast 13 or people that can move across the ground quickly? I'm not sure. Like, Hamish Stewart's been solid, but I just wonder if they've got too many big boppers a part of that front row rotation, and you only can have one really in today's game.
I think it's more their edges. Like respectfully as well. Like Moses Sully, like he needs confidence in terms of like I don't see. I've seen his career as an underachiever, and I say that respectfully. Like that kid is a man mountain. He's so strong. He's quick. He'll give any other centre a nightmare, but he just seems to just float in and out of weeks.
Yeah.
Val Holmes, I don't know where his head's at the moment.
Yeah, he looks like he's struggling.
Obviously, talk around. Gutho's a leader. I don't have an opinion on whether he's too slow and he shouldn't be there, but he should be in the team somewhere. And obviously the halves pairing, like, does it change too much by putting the 6 and the 7? Does that change too much?
At the very least, it
With
gives
that
clarity. Gives clarity for everyone. People
for someone to blame.
Yeah, because that's what we need to. When the game's on the line, it gives clarity of whose job is it to steer this team around the park and make sure that we've got good positions to score. I will say with the Gutho one, what I find, and maybe I've got a bias because I'm such a fan of him for so long, but like I do find it interesting that he's been flat for 2 weeks and then he does a hamstring injury. I just wonder whether they're getting pounded at training. Because Gutho is not a flat guy. He's never been a guy that comes out and doesn't rip and tear, other than maybe, we've all been there where coaches, they're under the pump, so they try and train you out of it. Like, just, boys, this is fucking not good enough. You're getting fucking towed up all week. I mean, the 90-minute contact session before a game.
Do you think Flano's lost the dressing room?
It doesn't sound like it. They're all saying the right
but
things.
you got to say the right thing.
Yeah, but
what are you going to say in front of the media? Oh no, we don't believe in his system.
Nah, but like, for example, like you heard the whispers at Manly, like, and that was going on for ages that the dressing room and Seabold were not getting along. I haven't heard a single whisper out of the Dragons that they're not getting along. But maybe that's just I don't have the right.
He'd have a very hard-nosed style of coaching, right? Flano. I had him at the Sharks as an assistant coach. Got along with him great guy, great guy. But do you feel like you think back to 2016 when they won the premiership? Do you think about the plays he had? Fafita,
crazy roster.
Luke
Very
Lewis,
different.
Gallen, Wade Graham. So he had those hard-nosed, hard-edged kind of players that could fall into his system. Now, with the game changing and society changing, it's like I feel like a lot more of these younger players need an arm put around them rather than being told this is the standard.
Yep.
So maybe a new voice coming in.
Yeah, okay.
But like, I'm not saying that sack Flano, but it's just, it's
getting to that point, unfortunately.
this is where I'm at with Flano. If I'm Flano, I look at him in the press conferences and I'm looking at his health.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it's time for me to walk away.
The big one for me, like I agree with you, Ren. I think it's just got to this point now where like that game just goes to show how important that game was in Vegas. Like they lost by 1 point against the Dogs,
and a tough call too.
And they had a lot of tough calls. And at the same time, the Dogs probably had ascendancy over them the whole game, but they just hung in there.
Broke them a little
Their
bit.
first 3 games were really tight, especially that third game against the Eels. Like I thought they might have had that in the bag, and then the Eels ran away with it. I think it's just like have some coaches that talk about, that you have. I think it's an old Craig Bellamy thing where you talk about after 3 losses, then suddenly your team resorts back to the basics. You have like 5 things that you focus on. Each individual parts of the team will have their focus, and you just scale things back, simplify. But like after losing 5, it's like it's really hurt. And those first 3, the fact that they put up such a fight for those first 3, round 2 against the Storm ended up being a bit of a blowout, but it was a fair
60
fight.
minutes, yeah.
It was, for a lot of the game, it was a big fight.
Yeah.
I think it's just affected them mentally.
Well, think of the mental scars of last year when they were in 9 games.
Yeah.
And got beat. So
gotta
this
take
is
its toll,
This is
hasn't
a
it?
carryover mentally, like.
I'm staying on the Foz train. Too much momentum.
Yeah, I'm on the
Foz train.
Foz train.
Foz train. Brizzy Broncos versus North Queensland Cowboys.
Well, tough one.
So Reno's out.
Renault's
Walsh is out.
Yep. Benny Hunt's out.
Benny Hunt's out.
So it just might be the Queensland spirit that we
I'm
need.
going controversial. Yeah, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm going for the cows.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I'm
going
going
Yeah.
Bronx.
No, actually,
No, I'm going cows.
You're a fucking
I'm
dog.
going Cowboys.
I thought you were leading into the Bronx then for sure.
Same. It sounded like you were leaning into the
I've
Bronx.
got Cleary beating the Origin side. Fuck the Broncos. No, I like the Broncos.
Listen, don't
Way
get
too many Bronco fans on the bloke potty.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Just because we fucking beat you in the grand final last year, don't get upset about it.
No, I
mate.
just think it could be a moment.
Yeah, look, the
I've gotta have a
Cowboys have
little
got
bit of
a
a-
3 on the trot. I think 225 is value for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys. What a turnaround for Todd Payton.
Oh, mate.
Oh, mate.
Mate, his
He
head
was
was on the
gone.
chopping block.
They come out and win this, bro.
Hey, if you've watched their back 5, like the pendulum, like
Yeah.
you guys can speak about it better than I, but I just saw how much work Braden Burns does, and then Talang,
Yeah, Talangi, most
Talangi.
underrated wing on the comp.
Chester.
Yep.
Where did that kid come from?
Mate, craziness. Because it was Laybutt that was ahead of him, I think. And Chester's
Purdue?
got it now. Yep, Purdue gun.
Drinky, and it's just taking a lot of pressure off the forwards. Like them coming out of yardage, they've been great.
Well, the lowest meterage by an outside back last week for them was Talangi, who's obviously Origin winger. It was 160 metres. Everyone was like 220 plus.
I love that chat, though, because their kicking game's certainly not going to be at the same standard this week for the Bronx.
Yeah, because it will basically be Ezra Mam and who's coming in? Is it Duffy? Probably Duffy. Walshy gone, and Walsh does a lot of their kicking too. Yeah,
We're on, Ren.
it's going to be a good
Right,
old-fashioned Broncos ambush.
$2.25, baby. Let's go.
Okay, Rabbitohs, Raiders. Boys, what's doing at the Raiders? You know what? My biggest concern at the Raiders is like they used to have this trump card, and the trump card was our forward pack will bash yours, and they're not doing it that year. They're getting dominated this year.
Well, they're getting sin bins and they're getting penalised. Kicking out on the full in the first set against the Knights, like things like that. Like just really petty stuff that
Yep.
builds pressure. It builds fatigue. You know, they're in the game for longer periods, and then they'll just do something that invites the opposition back in. You know, just
Yep.
really, really basic fundamental errors.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to Rabbits.
I'm going Rabbits.
Yeah, I'm going Rabbits.
Yeah, I'm going Rabbits.
Okay,
Kind of hard to tip against them.
Sharkies, Roosters. Now, this is a super interesting match because the Roosters, they beat Manly, but Manly were not the team. You know, Manly were going through what they're going through.
Seabold.
And the crazy thing is, like, Roosters heading into that game, they were under immense pressure. So I feel like the bye came at the worst time possible for the Roosters because they got a bit of momentum, they got that win. I just worry that clunkiness that we saw a few weeks ago, does it come back because they've had that week off? I'm probably going to go Sharks head to head.
Well, they've got Radley back.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Yeah, there's some 6 against in that.
Oh, yeah. Sin bin, 2 sin bins.
Yeah,
five
I
of the
also
bins.
think it might inspire a performance, at least for the first game back. So I am going to go the Roosters.
I'm going to go Sharks. If you want to be genuine in this competition, Sharkies, like you got to win this one.
I'm thinking Roosters. I feel like, the old assistant, old head coach, I think Robbo knows a few things about, the style of coaching that they do down there at Cronulla. So, yeah, I'm going Roosters for a bit of an upset. Is that an upset for the Roosters?
No, they're favourites. They're favourites.
Are they? I thought they were $1.85.
$2 Sharkies.
Oh, yep, true.
Yeah. Storm Wars.
It's an interesting one,
You
but
know, Bellamy. Yeah.
back at
There's
Amy,
no
bro.
way.
No
Surely
way. If they don't come out with the performance of a lifetime, I will be very shocked. I don't think it's going to be a walkover, but Melbourne losing after last week at Amy Park, I can't
Back-to-back
see it.
losses, no.
Can't see
Under
it.
bellyache, no. I
Just,
Well, it'll be 4 on the trot then.
I can't.
If they lose this one, it's 4 on the trot.
I'll
4 on the
reevaluate
trot.
after this, but right now, I'm not willing to bet against them
I'm
under
going-
those
Well,
circumstances.
Was also, if you want to trot now
Harris
too.
Tavita back in.
Yep.
Boyd, the combination that was working
And
before the
Metcalf.
calf came back.
And Metcalf was clunky and defensively did let a few in.
But Harry Grant is playing. He wasn't injured. So
Okay.
I think Melbourne.
I'm gonna stir the potty. I'm going the
Okay.
upset. That's
Okay.
not bad.
Wow.
On an upset.
Good value. I do think that's good value for them.
Great value.
I did get 8 from 8 last week.
Yeah, true,
Just
true.
saying.
That is
Here we go.
true.
That's the
That is
blueprint, baby. Eels versus the Titans. I'm going to go the Eels, even though they've got a few injuries. But the Titans have been looking better, mate. They've been looking good. What do you reckon?
I'd like you to go further into detail why you're choosing the Eels over the Titans.
Well, the reason I
Comeback.
am is because I still think the Titans are a bit away from the standard that the Eels have been playing. They still have Mitch Moses in the side. Yes, there are some injuries to some players, but I feel like the Eels can cover it. Yes, they are decimated in regards to, I think they've got 19 left of their 30. But I just think a Mitch Moses-led side is going to be able to get the job done.
That's a fair call. I think there'll be a bit of a hangover after that crazy Golden Point loss against the Tigers.
Okay.
I think the Titans, mate, the first 60 minutes of defence has been golden for the Titans. They just got to get their attack right. And if they can get it click into gear, I like to see the Titans getting up.
A Titans are home and away side.
Hey,
A Titans are home and away side. Do you reckon? Like different,
like they're better away
Yeah.
than home.
or
Well, I think
vice
they're-
versa?
Oh, great question. I'll tell you in 6 months' time.
I'm going the Eels.
Going Eels?
Look, I just got my life memberships with the Titans, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the GC.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
This
New-
is
with the new
this is a
jersey.
solid one.
Mate, who would have thought Tigers versus Knights on a Sunday Arvo would be the
Campbelltown.
absolute cracking?
Game of the round.
Mate, I'm gonna go the Tigers in this one.
Yeah, I'm on the train.
They look confident. They're up and about. I know the Knights do too, but
They got Brady's out. Badman?
Seatown.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Newcastle. I feel like they're playing better for longer periods.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do
going-
like the Tigers, but I'm gonna go the Knights.
I like this, boys.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
very
going
split
Knights
this
as well.
week.
Yeah, I'm going Knights as well. I feel like Sunday Arvo's their sort of game.
All right, that's it. That's us done and dusted. Give Sandor a follow, Reni a follow. The shirts, they will be out the 15th.
15th,
make sure
6
be there.
p.m.
Very limited as well. As usual. Anything else, boys?
No, we'll go fuck ourselves.
We'll all go fuck ourselves.
6-7.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.